All right. Well, hey, Richard, thank
Hi.
you so much for taking time out of your morning to talk to me. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Um, w- is this screening at Holly Shorts the debut of
It
Devotee?
Yes, it's a world premiere of it, yes. So, yeah, we're excited. Have an
Uh,
audience sit through it.
what's been the process like getting this short made?
Well, this short basically came I wrote a feature version of this in during the pandemic. And, after I got done, then we had the lovely film strike. So, it was like, ugh. And, I hate to have these moments where it's like you literally don't take advantage of anything. So I was like, no, 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 this is perfect. Like, let's take a scene from this. And all of my filmmaker friends were available. And I was like, let's just go out and do this. Let's make it happen. So we did. And it was amazing. We shot it out in Kensington, California over 2 nights, basically. And that's really how it came together. That's what we did. So, yeah.
That's actually a question I was going to ask is like this feels like a calling card for a future feature. What made you decide to go with this scene as the short versus like maybe one that might have come elsewhere in the film?
Well, because basically there were a couple things. So, during the strike, it was also the summertime, and there is only one scene in the movie with a child in it. And I needed a child during summer hours, especially when you're trying to do night stuff and the all the labor laws and everything you have to do. And I was like, this is perfect. It can't wait till later in the year. Like, let's do it now. So I was, we took, I mean, to prep this took a while. It probably took about, like, I'd say 2.5 months to prep it all, find the actors, get everything together in the location. But that's why I went with this. It's basically the cold open of the film is what it is. So.
Is there anything you can share about like what the feature is like as a whole, or are you playing that close to the vest?
It's close to the vest right now. It is coming together quite nicely. We are casting it right now. We have a great casting director, Mary Vernew and Brett Howie, who are casting the feature Devoted. And but right now, I mean, I'm just excited. Part of it is to just get the excitement of an audience just by seeing this short film of, like, this is what the feature is going to be bringing to the you know
As someone
world.
who's worked as like a producer on films of multiple genres, like what was it like for your first directorial effort to be like horror?
Well, I've always loved horror movies, basically. I have been producing mostly over my career a lot of, like, these prestige Sundance type of indie films, which I love. I mean, I really do love those movies, but my first love has always been horror. I'm a humongous Alfred Hitchcock fan. I mean, I grew up loving Alfred Hitchcock and all his different movies. So, horror is really where my heart is, and that's what I really wanted to go out doing as a directorial debut.
So I have to ask if you are a Hitchcock fan, is that poster behind you for the film? I think it is.
It is. It's Rope. Yes. One of my favorite Hitchcock movies. Yes.
What led you to approach this subject for your first feature specifically, like sort of like the cult Satan aspect of things? It feels like it's going through a real renaissance these days.
Mhm, mhm. Well, for me, I really love, I wanted to make a movie that also was really had strong characters, and it wasn't just like a total, like, teenagers running around slasher kind of a thing. Really base it in something that felt um basically organic to me, into my life, and could kind of go from there. And I think the cults are so I just think there's a lot of that going on even in reality, not just film. I mean, look at things like the Dancing with the Devil documentary on Netflix and stuff like that. It's around, it's here. I mean, it's not a thing of the past, it's gonna keep going on for forever. So, and I think that's fascinating that people still get sucked into that kind of stuff.
How
So.
How'd you get into film to begin with?
Well, basically, I grew up with the in a theatrical family. My parents were both actors and directors in the theater, and I spent a lot of my weekends at like set constructions and doing my homework in an audience as they're, rehearsing with actors. And then I was a child actor for a while too. And this is something I always wanted to do, and always be behind the camera in some capacity, whether it was directing or producing. So it's been a constant in my life and something I've always been striving for, always trying to up my game doing. So I really don't know any time that wasn't a part of who I am. So yeah.
So the like festivals seem like one of the most receptive spaces for short film these days. Like you don't see a lot in really any other sort of venue, but like so many folks have gotten their start from shorts. What's it like? What's your experience with festivals, especially like genres type stuff?
Well, truthfully, I haven't done a lot of genre films in the festival space. I've really just done prestige movies in so I've done the Sundancey movies, the very like um socially political, like heavy things or biopics and stuff like that. So this will be my first time kind of going out in that genre space, which I'm really excited about. It'll be very different for me. But again, there's so much love that I find like in the horror community, in these genre spaces. There's such inclusive spaces like with filmmakers and audiences. And the people that are involved in them are wonderful. I've done two horror movies, produced them in my career too. And, one of them was over 10 years ago. And some of those people are the closest people to me. One of them was my producer on this, Josie Rodriguez, who I met on a movie called All About Evil, which was Peaches Christ's first horror film. And she's an amazing makeup artist, and her and I came together to produce this. So yeah.
What I really enjoy about Devotee is that like it's very striking visually. Like it grabs you, like there's something afoot, both visually and also in terms of the sound design. Uh who did you work with to like achieve this, and like what led you to work with those folks?
Well, basically, again, the timing, I took something that was bad and tried to make it good, which is no one was working, so everyone was available. So literally all of the people that worked on this movie are the people that are seriously at the top of their game. Like amazing, amazing folks. Right down, Skywalker Sound, Tom Myers did the sound mix, the sound design for us, which was like incredible. Brian Rigby Hubbard was my cinematographer. I mean, there were so many incredible people that just came out to really make this what I had in my head, because I had such a strong vision. I worked with a storyboard artist who had worked on one of the Blumhouse movies I did called The Manor. Warren Hubbard, who worked with me, and it was just like, we got it all down on paper, and it was ready to go. So
I have to feel like working on a Bloomhouse picture is like the perfect sort of like training ground for a shoot like this.
yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I loved my experience working with Blumhouse and working with Axel Carolyn on The Manor, and working with Sandy King, who was my, producing partner on that. That was really great. And we shot that right before the pandemic. I think it was like 2019 or something like that. So yeah, it was a great experience doing that movie.
So the thing I always like to end these interviews with is like obviously you have this new project and you're very excited about, but I know like most creative folks are always excited most about what they've got coming up next. Is there anything you can talk about? I understand that like sometimes you've got things you're excited about but haven't been announced yet.
Right, right. Well, I'm hoping I should have some announcements in the near future for the feature. There's a lot of exciting things happening around it. But besides that, I always have other movies that I'm producing as well. I mean, that's the thing about what I do. I mean, there are several projects going. You can have one that starts tomorrow, another that starts 5 or 10 years from now. So you never know, and you got to keep a lot of balls in the air. So.
Well, wonderful. Richard, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak to me. I'm very excited for this to get its world premiere at Holly Shorts. And again, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of your day, sir.
You too. Take